Yo, what's going on guys? It's Devastating. Thanks for tuning in today and welcome to a new video. And in this one we are going to render a judgment on the Battlefield 2042 beta. You probably already noticed that the beta is over, despite that a lot of you guys said that DICE is going to extend it for sure. Nope, they didn't extend it. I clocked in about 18 hours, so I think I can give a viable opinion. And if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing and dropping a like, that would really help me out. Thank you very much for that. Timestamps are in the description, and without further ado, let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the map and the game mode. The map is called Orbital and the game mode is Conquest. You can see the layout of the map, and it's so damn huge. And you have to imagine that this is even one of the smaller ones. And when you combine a big map like this with the Conquest game mode, it's really not that much fun for an infantry player. I mean, I understand that it's perfect for the vehicle guys, but especially with Conquest it's like a running simulator. It happens often that you run like 4 minutes to an objective just to get killed by a helicopter, or that you reach the objective, for example the A flag, kill 2 or 3 enemies, and what you're gonna do next. If I have found myself in the hills, I just redeployed cause there is no way that I'm running 5 minutes back to the action. So it feels really empty despite having 128 players, and unfortunately that's a flaw of the Conquest game mode, I have to say. I'm imagining this map with the Breakthrough game mode and it would probably be a lot of more fun. Let's not forget about Rush or Frontlines. What about the graphics? I think the game looks quite decent, definitely not a downgrade to the previous titles, but I do also think that it's not such a huge step forward like other players say. It's not that stunning or overwhelming, at least on low settings. I don't know about Ultra, and I also heard that the PS5 version should look pretty good, so that's one of the few things I do like about the beta. We just ignore the physics of these pushes. Let's now talk a little bit about the gameplay mechanics. First, let's have a look at the movement. At first glance it looks quite okay. DICE implemented the tactical sprint, which Call of Duty has for several years now. Furthermore, you can slide around the corners without any slowdown. So in this regard I think there is a skill gap, which some players like and some not. And other than the running speed and the sliding, if we have a look back to the older Battlefield titles, there has been scrapped a lot, especially from Battlefield 5. That's something I definitely do not like. Yes, you heard that right, Battlefield 5 had some good aspects. For example, it implemented the rolling after a jump. We did have the crouch sprinting, we had the supine stance, and we had leaning as well. All these movement features were ditched. Other than that, the fortifications, the squad call-ins like the health and ammo supplies, the first person melee kill animations, and so much more stuff they left out, I don't know why. And if you're interested in what's left out as well, I will put a link to this video in the description. And you can already tell that a lot of players are missing these features. Heads-up display and user interface. This is also a little bit of a downgrade for me. For example, you cannot even see the icons for the sectors and flags properly, so most of the time you don't even know what's going on. The same thing goes for the minimap, the sectors are not properly marked. Also the notifications for sector majority look like adware. The glow of the fonts is too much for my liking. The weapon customization may be a good idea, but it's buggy as hell. But more on that later. Let's now have a look at the quote-unquote scoreboard. I mean, come on DICE, what is this? How do you even come up with such ideas? Absolutely nothing you can get out of this. I don't even know how they calculate the squad points in the last column. It is just horrible. Please bring back the old scoreboard. And by the way, it's kind of funny how the colors are changing when I'm entering this area. But alright, let's now have a look at the kill screen. For me this is pretty boring. New feature is that you can see who assists the kill. To be honest, I do miss the Battlefield 1 kill screen. Let's move on with the downed screen, and what should I say? It is even more sad. You cannot really distinguish your teammates from the enemy players, and there is no indication of a nearby medic. And this is why players will most of the time skip immediately. The kill feed is on the left side with no indication of which is your team and which are the enemies. Please let us put it in the right again. The most terrible thing for me that they got rid of the enemy hit indicators in the middle. This was vital information in the past. Battlefield is not a milsim. And put it back in the middle, please. I wanna know what's going on. Another feature which is missing is the comma rows. You cannot ask for ammo, you cannot say anything. As well as the in-game chat is missing. Hopefully this will come to launch. So in this regard it felt more like a Chinese replica mobile game or something. Off to the artificial stupidity, aka bots. And this is easily one of the most stupid things I have ever seen. I mean, look at them, they always just stand somewhere out in the open without cover. You know from miles away if it's a bot or not. I think they just ported over the bots from Battlefield 5's combined arms. They run onto the airfield, start shooting you, you shoot back, they stand still and lay down on the ground. That's a really good idea. But by far the most representative and best clip is from a guy called God King. This pretty much sums up the beta for me. Imagine being in a situation where you have to rely on your teammates covering your back or watching the other side. And then all of a sudden you get shot because your teammate was a bot and didn't have a clue whatsoever what to do. Also, killing AI is not satisfying. Imagine being on an epic kill streak just to find out that 9 out of 10 guys you killed were AI. Just so random. And by the way, if you open up the scoreboard, you can see how many bots there are on the server. And if there are more than 10 per team, I just leave the server. Cause you can clearly feel how the quality of this match will suffer. And now to a very important topic, the specialists and their gadgets. Again, I have to say, horrible. I did already know when they announced it, but a lot of players said, oh, that's going to be awesome. Screw it, it's freaking bad. For me personally, Battlefield 1 did it the best. You had a lot of different factions, but all were distinguishable. You could clearly tell which class the enemy had, and all of that is completely gone. There are like 50 McKays, 30 Borises, 25 ghillie suit guys and 20 Falks running around. Even with more specialists to come, there will be some metas with the grappling hook extremely strong. You have your ex-MMG guys who are placing the sentry in the hallways with Boris. Isn't that lovely that this thing shoots you through the bushes like a mile away? You have your typical sniper campers in the ghillie suit in the bushes. I don't know, man, have a look at this clip right here. I mean, let's be honest, this game already has some meme potential. It's hard to distinguish your enemy from your teammate if they all look the same, of course. And for me personally, that doesn't give an immersive war feeling. I don't even know if I'm on the American or the Russian troops. That's also why I cannot take a round seriously. There is just no feeling of a team whatsoever. Speaking of the weapon customization in game, as I said, the idea may be good, but I don't know how this will end up. First you have an absolute close quarters hipfire machine and 5 seconds later you can eliminate the snipers 2 miles away. We will see how this plays. Regarding the gadgets, you can either equip a rocket launcher, the ammo crate, or for example the repair tool. And as the rocket launcher is extremely important, at least on this map, a lot of guys have equipped it. And team play and squad play is suffering from that, of course. Finding ammo is a miracle, and you may have already recognized that you run out of ammo relatively fast, and that is because your ammunition is divided by the types of your bullet. If you run out of ammo, switch to a different bullet variety. And one more word to the gadgets, you can equip armor plates. And this is an absolute no-go for me. And now let's have a quick look at the events. I think I only did encounter this tornado once, so it doesn't have a huge impact on your normal matches. And as you can see, I tried to get onto it, but I miserably failed. Everybody is saying it's so fun in the tornado, but I just died and it wasn't that spectacular. Also the rocket can launch or it can even explode, and in combination with their tornado it's chaos. But I'm asking myself, what does this add to the experience, or what does it change during the match? And the answer is nobody is interested in playing the game anymore. Everybody is just running towards the tornado, no matter what, if they're losing or they're winning. Nobody is playing the objective anymore. All other locations are going to be empty because everybody's in the tornado. And to be real honest with you, as I said some videos ago, I'm not a huge fan of that. Because when I'm thinking of Battlefield, I'm thinking about killing and destroying the enemy. I mean, if something like that happens in Apex, Titanfall or Far Cry or something like that, I don't mind. And the same will happen with the sandstorms. You cannot go to the objectives anymore, you cannot capture it. But I know a lot of you guys enjoy it, and that's okay. And the last point before we come to the conclusion, the bugs. I know it's just a beta, and I know as well that a lot of them will be there at launch as well. For example, the spawn system is really messed up. But not only the spawn, look how they teleport through the floor. And this clunky movement goes also for the elevators and doors. You always clip through that. And don't you dare trying to knife the enemies from the back. Do you remember the bug where you hit a plane on the backside and didn't do any damage? Welcome back. This now is not a bug, but I heard a lot of guys saying the visibility is so great. And I think they have not been in the bushes yet. Where is this guy? Let's now have a look at it again in slow-mo and zoomed in. Even then you couldn't really tell where this guy is. Alright, he has the ghillie suit on, but I think that with another specialist it would have been the same. We do also have some invisible bushes or something like that, cause if you have a look when I'm shooting, there are leaves flying all over the place. Alright, this is not game breaking or something, but there are a lot of more bugs in this game. And I know they can be fixed after launch, this is not high priority in contrast to the performance issues. I already mentioned that in my first impressions video. So in this beta build I get around 90 FPS in average. And for comparison in Battlefield 5 I had around 150. That's around 60 FPS difference. I mean, I have no stutters or something like that, but you definitely notice the difference between 90 and 150 FPS. And this should definitely be fixed before the bugs. Last but not least, I want to give you my conclusion on the beta. I'm not disappointed because we got exactly what we were expecting. This beta is a huge mess, we should be honest to ourselves. Even the guys who said it's so awesome on the first day are coming to the conclusion that it's not. Also the guys who were saying that specialists are a good idea are now saying they were wrong. Don't be blended by the EA game changers. When I'm having a look on YouTube and see the titles, it's the best I ever played, it's so awesome, it's so damn satisfying. Remember that they have to say it. The guys who keep referring that it's just a beta and it's also 2 or 3 months old, have a look at this picture right here. Do you really still think that something groundbreaking is happening? Cause I don't. And what I also don't understand is why I need a beta to determine that the scoreboard, for example, is dog shit. They could have shown us a screenshot 2 years ago with the scoreboard and the whole community would have answered, that's crap, please revert it back to the old scoreboard. And then you still had 2 years time to develop. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that a lot of guys had fun with this beta, especially the vehicle players. The guys who are only looking for only in Battlefield moments, new players, players who come from other games like COD, and also these guys who just wanna mess around with their friends a little bit. But nevertheless, I think that Battlefield loses its identity. That's what I also heard from other experienced players. For me personally, it's a little bit sad cause I really hoped for a quite different game, but it is what it is now, I cannot change it unfortunately. So, a little bit of a longer one today. I want to thank you all for watching until the end, and if you enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.